Welcome back. It's over 10 years now since we first met Foot Young in his little sculpture shop at the end of Front Street on Hamilton Island. We're on Hamilton Island for about 10 days, locked in by the weather, and Foot and I would go to the local coffee lounge for a couple of hours each day and talk about his art and his sculpture, and also talk about some of the techniques which would enable him to do limited edition duplicates of some of his work. Now, as a result of that, Foot and I became firm friends, and Foot, in my opinion, has become one of the most accomplished cold cast sculptors in the entire world. And I'll tell you more about cold casting in just a moment. But over those 10 years we've kept in touch. We make Foot's videos for him, which he sends all over the world to market his sculptures. And Foot's art has not only grown and burgeoned and established itself, but he has also opened up his markets into export markets to all countries of the world. And he's also opened up another retail outlet at Pacific Fair on Queensland's Gold Coast. And we're in the shop here at the moment looking at some of these magnificent sculptures, in fact, surrounded by them. And just one of the examples of Foot's work, and you'll see a lot more in just a moment, is this work here, which is called First Breath. And it's of a mother whale pushing her baby up to the surface to take its first breath after it was born. And it doesn't matter which way you look at that work from, it is truly magnificent. Not only is it representative of the mammal, of which it is actually a portrait, but it also has an element of art in it and of artistry, which makes it a truly outstanding work. And that is typical of all of Foot Young's artworks.
A lot of what's called art it's expression, it's imagination, but there's no beauty in it. I use a lot of natural shapes in my sculpture, and I think anybody would admit that there is a lot of nature and a lot of beauty in nature. I mean, it's full of it. But to just copy nature or anything else beautiful is, to me, it's mechanical. It reduces an artist to a machine.
It's photographic.
It's photographic. That's not art either, in my definition. But on the other hand, to just throw out things of pure imagination with no attempt at whether they're beautiful or not is a criminal act, I think. I really think there's a really happy blend between copying nature or copying beauty and also bringing the artist's own imagination or creativity into it. That to me is what art's all about, and that's what I strive for.
There are two elements in the ability of any sculptor to be successful. One is obviously an artistry, an ability to perceive shapes and to translate them into solid materials using their eye and their hands and their artistic ability. The other one is far more mechanical. It's the ability to use tools, have the manual dexterity to use tools, know what tools are available and which ones will be suitable for the particular job at hand, and also to be able to have a knowledge of material science so that you know what to use for a particular job. Now, in my opinion, Foot Young is unique in the world among sculptors in his ability to use a relatively new technique of running limited production runs of particular sculptures, and that is the cold casting technique. It involves the use of rubber moulds taken off the original article, and they are then filled with a polyester-based casting resin, which is in turn highly filled to a great degree, with a powder made up of marble or brass or bronze or gold or silver or whatever medium the sculptor wishes to make the article from. Now, at the end of the day, the finished product is pretty well exactly the equal of one that was made from the original material, but the technique enables the sculptor to actually do, as I said, limited production runs. Foot has made a huge whale which stands around about 4 metres tall, which is on Hamilton Island. It's a breaching whale, and he has even been able to cold cast a number of replicas of that, and to my knowledge it's the largest single cold cast item in the world. But back to Foot's artistry. The shop, which is at Pacific Fair on the Gold Coast, as I said, is stocked with a range of absolutely magnificent and contemporary sculptures. We recently visited Foot's studio in the hinterland behind Airlie Beach. And by the way, Foot is an American Indian name. It's short for Lightfoot. Foot is a combination of Cherokee and Choctaw Indian, and his family has traditions going back many thousands of years. Foot's latest work, which was commenced around about mid-1996, is actually a self-portrait, but it's a self-portrait with quite a difference. It is a portrait, a full-size, life-size portrait of Foot sculpting himself out of a block of marble, which is a marvellous concept in itself. But also Foot has expressed the drive that he feels, this inner artistry, by adding an alien to his back, and the alien is handing Foot the tools which Foot is using to carve himself out of the block of marble. Now, that it is a totally beautiful work, and you're seeing it in a number of stages of its creation. At the moment, you're looking at it almost finished, not quite, but almost finished. It's a superb self-sculpture, but it also has that added artistry and a concept which is truly remarkable. Now, the works of Foot Young will live for hundreds, if not thousands of years. They've been purchased by appreciative people from all over the world who've happened to see them on Hamilton Island, or who have seen works that other people have bought. He runs a lively business of export and also supplying the local market. But even a small amount of time spent in the presence of Foot's works, either on Hamilton Island or at Pacific Fair on the Gold Coast, will give you some idea of the brilliance of the man, of the man's true artistry, and of the superb quality of the work that Foot Young produces. We'll be back right after this break.